talks about what might be an investigation into Burisma?
No.
Okay. I mean, he has said that if there were Ukrainians engaged in violations of Ukrainian law, then the Prosecutor General with the new administration ought to investigate that. Did
His
Ambassador
just
Volker
blank
ever
face,
relate
like,
that to you?
and
No, we just talked in generic terms about, quote, investigating Burisma.
Okay. But it had nothing to do with Vice President Biden.
I'd never heard Vice President Biden come up until very late in the game.
When?
I don't recall the exact date, but when it all sort of came together, maybe after the transcript of the July 25th call. I don't know. I don't know the exact date when I made the connection.
Okay.
Apparently a lot of people did not make the connection.
I want to turn to the letter from Senator Johnson. When he heard about some of these issues in the whole of the aid, he called the president. He called the president on August 31st. It's page 6 of his letter. Senator Johnson states, or he writes, I asked him, the president, whether there was some kind of arrangement where Ukraine would take some action and the hold would be lifted. Without hesitation, President Trump immediately denied such an arrangement existed. Senator Johnson quotes the president as saying, no, and he prefaced it with a different word. No way, I would never do that. Who told you that? I have, Senator Johnson says, I have accurately characterized the president's reaction as adamant,
we need to dab
vehement,
about
and
this.
angry.
I can't with these people anymore.
Telephone call with the president wasn't a public
If you're
event.
not watching C-SPAN,
It was
hi.
capturing a genuine, moment with the president, and he had at this point in time on August 31st.
Your blood pressure will
adamant,
shoot your.
I
You're
was going
angry
to
that
the
there was
dispensary,
no
but I don't
connections
have
to
money on my
aid.
card to
There
live
were no
there, and
Well,
I couldn't go there fast.
Next time, kick me
Yeah, I
and
had my
say,
meeting with
bitch,
Senator
call me a lift.
Johnson where again I had
I
made the
would've called you a
presumption
lift.
that I had made to both Mr. Yermak and the
Did you wanna
email
go
I had
down?
sent to Secretary
Call me
Pompeo.
real quick.
And
Hmm?
we
There,
were
real quick.
sort of ruminating about
Call
what
me
was
real
going
quick, I
on.
can live there and
And
chicken.
Senator Johnson, I believe, said, I'm going to call President Trump, and find out. And then he obviously had that phone call. I
It's
wasn't
too
involved
cold
in
for
that
my
phone
arms
call.
to be outside my my cocoon.
She's like, I'm a T-Rex.
I'm cocooned.
And
Cocoon.
now you've had some time since your deposition.
I need some
You
cocaine
submitted
in my
an
cocoon.
addendum relating to the Warsaw
I'll be back with more wax.
get together with Mr.
Wax.
Part 2 of
Yarmak.
this stream.
Just
Oh, I
sit
thought
here,
you were
I
getting
mean,
Wonder
are we
Weed.
missing a lot of your communications with the president?
I haven't had that many communications with the president, and in fact, a bunch of the call records that I have had access to, just the short period of time on the call indicates I never got through. In other words, I was put on hold for 1 or 2 minutes and the call never connected. So I really can't give you an accurate count of how many conversations. Plus, Mr. Castro, I've had a lot of conversations with the president about completely unrelated matters that have nothing to do with Ukraine.
So, but you don't think we're missing any material conversations that you have with the president?
I don't recall any material conversations today as I'm sitting here.
Or with Rudy Giuliani?
Yeah, my memory about the conversations with Rudy Giuliani, whether they were direct, whether they were conference calls with Ambassador Volker or Secretary Perry, is really vague without seeing the call logs.
Are there any other key fact witnesses that would help us, get to the bottom of whether there was any link to the aid and the?
Maybe Brian
Just pulled too
McCormack,
much
the
off
chief
my
of staff
card
for
and
Secretary Perry,
Couldn't lift up
was
there.
involved in and out as well.
Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna kick you
she's gonna kick us both,
right in the face.
Antonio.
The aid was ultimately
Right in
lifted
the
on September 11th,
face.
correct?
I believe that's correct.
Okay. And Senator Johnson, in his letter on page 6, quotes the president on August 31st. Ron, I understand your position. We're reviewing it now, and you'll probably
goddamn.
like my final decision. So even on August 31st, and this is
$7.
before any congressional investigation started,
Do there and back.
the president was signaling to Senator Johnson that he was going to lift the aid. Lift the
Sounds like
laws.
it, yeah.
Okay. And most of the other witnesses we talked to, whether it's from the Department of Defense or OMB or have told us that all along during this 55-day period, they genuinely believed the hold would be lifted. Was that your feeling too at the time?
I didn't know because every time I asked about the hold, I was never given
Well,
a
no,
straight
because
answer as to
are
why
you
it
going
had
to
been
be
put in place to
in
begin
there
with.
for more than 5 minutes? Yeah, he will.
Now, what do you know
Oh,
about the
because they wait.
Ukrainians'
Most of the
knowledge
time
of the
they
hold?
do. If they don't, then
Oh,
I
that's
know right
very
away and they'll
vague.
cancel
I don't
the
know if the
direction. You'll
political
know right away
article
because they'll
triggered
cancel
it. I don't
right
know if
away
they were told by
the
Mr.
second
Giuliani.
trip.
It would be pure
And I'll have my phone with me to
you know,
get it right. To either
guess we're
take
coming
right
to
back or I'll have
speculation.
to
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, during your
use my
deposition, you
dollars for the bus.
testified that you did not believe the Ukrainians believed
Hopefully I can figure it out.
were aware of the hold until the Politico article.
Yeah, again, I think I testified that I was not clear on the exact dates of when the light went on. There were a lot of conversations going on with the Ukrainians by a lot of people, so I don't know who communicated what to them.
We have testimony from several witnesses that the president was concerned about foreign aid generally, and so he had an appetite to put holds on aid because he was trying to be a good steward of U.S. taxpayer dollars. Do you agree with that?
I'm aware that that's been his position on aid in other matters, yes.
And are you aware that he was also interested in better understanding the contributions of our European allies?
That I'm definitely aware of.
And there was some back and forth between the State Department officials trying to better understand the information for the
What?
president.
Hey, stop.
Correct.
Stop.
How do you know that wasn't
Stop.
the reason for the hold?
I don't.
Stop.
But yet you speculate that there was, a link to this announcement.
I presumed it, yes.
Okay. I want to turn
Watch us out together.
quickly to the July 10th meeting. The July 10th meeting in Ambassador Bolton's office involving Ambassador Volker, Mr. Daniluk, Mr. Yarmark, has been the subject of some controversy. Ambassador Volker yesterday testified that it wasn't until the end of the meeting, Mr. Daniluk, he said, was going through some real detailed information about some of the plans he had. But it wasn't until the end of the meeting, Ambassador Volker recollects that you mentioned something general about investigations. What do you remember from that meeting?
I
Well,
text
again,
him
I'm
that
not
he's
going
going
to
to be
dispute
picking you up.
Ambassador Volker's
Not me.
recollection, particularly if he had notes. I know that the desire
And he's gonna be
to
here
have
in
the
a minute. He's coming up
2016
this way right
election
now.
DNC server in Burisma.
It's Luis in
were
a
already
black
being
Toyota
discussed
Corolla.
by then. Again, I had no direct contact with
That's
Mr.
what they said about our
Giuliani
food
on
delivery,
July
too.
10th, but through Ambassador Volker. And
No, why
I
did you stop
probably
a block
mentioned
away?
that this needs to happen
where there's no
in
light?
order to move the process forward. That seemed to be
Why would you stop where there is no
conventional
light?
wisdom at the time.
Stay.
I don't recall any abrupt
you seriously
ending
stop
of
to read the
meeting or
message?
people storming out or anything like that. That would have been very memorable if someone had stormed out of a meeting based on something I said.
Okay, nobody accused you at that point in time of being involved.
Preview.
You've lost.
On X-Men.
You back?
Cyclops is